The joke landed exactly where I wanted it to. Light, sharp, just enough to draw laughter. I lifted my glass and smiled at my husband. "Honestly," I said, glancing at the man across the table, "if I'd married him, at least dinner conversations wouldn't feel like performance reviews." Laughter rippled outward, polite, then louder. Everyone watched my husband, waiting for the smile, the shrug, the practiced grace he always offered. He didn't smile. He didn't blink. He set his fork down with care, aligning it perfectly with the knife. The sound was soft, deliberate, too deliberate. Then he looked at me, not with anger, not with hurt, with recognition, like a man confirming something he already knew. "I suppose," he said calmly, "that depends on which version of honesty you prefer." The table stilled. No one laughed this time. My chest tightened. I told myself it was nothing, just a wounded ego. I took a sip of wine to steady my hands. He leaned back in his chair. "And since we're sharing jokes," he continued evenly, "perhaps tonight is a good time to stop pretending." Silence pressed in from all sides. The air felt heavier. I realized then that this wasn't a reaction. It was a conclusion. I tried to recover. Humor is a shield if you wield it quickly enough. "Oh, relax," I said. "I'm teasing." But my husband didn't move. "I know," he replied. "You've been teasing for months." The word months lodged itself in my throat. Someone shifted in their chair. Someone else cleared their glass. My husband finally reached for his drink, took a measured sip, and looked around the table, not for support, but for witnesses. "You see," he said, voice still calm, "teasing only works when both people believe the same story." I felt heat crawl up my neck. "What story?" He turned back to me. "Do you want to finish dinner," he asked, "or should we finish the truth?" My mind raced. I scanned his face for cracks. There were none. This wasn't suspicion, it was certainty. I had convinced myself my silence had protected me, that careful edits and selective honesty were enough. I had mistaken his restraint for ignorance. The table waited. I forced a laugh that sounded foreign even to me. "You're being dramatic." "No," he said softly, "I'm being precise." That was when I knew. He wasn't guessing. He was done pretending he didn't know. He didn't expose me then. That was the cruelty of it. Instead, he let the night continue. Conversation limped forward, forks moved, plates emptied. I barely tasted anything. Every glance from him felt like pressure against glass, silent, controlled, threatening to shatter. I replayed every risk I'd taken, every message deleted, every meeting disguised as convenience. How much did he know? When had he started watching? I realized, too late, that he had stopped asking questions weeks ago, stopped checking my phone, stopped wondering, because answers had already arrived. My pulse hammered as he engaged our guests with polite efficiency, hosting like a man entirely at ease. That terrified me more than anger would have. Anger is messy. This was surgical. I noticed the subtle details now, the way his phone lay face up, untouched, the way he watched reactions instead of faces. He was mapping outcomes. I was no longer part of the plan. When dessert arrived, he declined. "I think we should clear the table," he said. No one argued. We moved instinctively, like we'd all sensed something irreversible had already happened. Once the plates were gone, he stood. "I owe everyone an apology," he said evenly, "for allowing confusion to sit where clarity should be." My breath caught. He reached into his jacket and placed a slim folder on the table, not in front of me, in the center. "For transparency," he said, "I've learned that secrets don't rot in darkness, they thrive in politeness." He opened the folder, turned it so everyone could see. Screenshots, dates, messages. Not explicit, worse, familiar. A timeline, my timeline. A gasp escaped someone to my left. I couldn't speak, I couldn't move. My husband finally looked at me again. "I verified everything," he said quietly. "I didn't rush, I didn't assume." He closed the folder. "You deserved accuracy." Tears burned behind my eyes. I reached for him instinctively. He stepped back. That hurt more than the evidence. "I won't humiliate you," he continued, voice steady. "You handled that well enough on your own." The words sliced cleanly. "I only wanted honesty," he said, "and since I couldn't get it privately, I chose witnesses. No shouting, no insults, just exposure." He turned to our guests. "Thank you for your patience," he said. "You're free to leave." They didn't rush. Shock pinned them in place. Then chairs scraped, doors opened, the room emptied, until it was just us. I finally broke. "I never meant to hurt you," I whispered. "I know," he replied. "You meant to enjoy yourself." He picked up his coat. "I've already moved my things," he said. "You'll find the documents on the counter." I stared at him, stunned. "How long?" I asked. He paused. "Long enough to stop loving you," he said. Then he left. The house feels different now. Not emptier, exposed. I replay that joke often, the confidence I carried, the safety I assumed. I thought power came from control over the narrative. I was wrong. Power comes from knowing the ending while everyone else is still laughing. He didn't raise his voice, he didn't defend himself, he waited, and when he spoke, the truth did the damage for him. Some silences forgive, others sharpen, and the one he chose ended everything without ever needing to shout.